Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about tenses and I'm going to give you a very quick overview of basically all the tenses. Later on we're going to look at each one of them. So first of all you need to know that in English we have only 3 tenses, and I know you might be very shocked, surprised, astonished and just like, how come? Well, the point is that in reality, we do have only 3 tenses, and that is present, past, and future. Because there is no other tense other than that. There is no other time other than that. So present, you are located in the present moment. Past, something that happened yesterday, 2 hours ago, and etc. And future, something that will be in the future. So we only have 3 tenses. But why do they say that we have 12 tenses in English? Well, that's a good question. Because every tense has an aspect. Yes, it's called aspect. And this aspect determines the relationship of the verb and the action to one another and to the doer of the action. So let's take, for example, present. You can see that the present tense has 4 aspects: simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. The same goes for past and future. You have past simple, past perfect, and etc. So, in fact, by you fully understanding at least one tense, present for example, and understanding how every aspect works in relationship to the doer and in relationship to the action and the moment of speech, you will be able to understand how every tense works. So let's take a look at present simple, or past simple, or future simple. All of these tenses are talking about a habitual, repeated action. But the difference is the present simple is talking about that action in the present, something that is repeated in the present. For example, I get up at 5 o'clock or like 5 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, right? It's a habitual, repeated action. What about past simple? Well, past simple is used when you state a fact in the past. Of course, we have different exceptions, but the basis is this. Then we're looking at present perfect. Present perfect, or the perfect aspect, tells us that the action is complete by a certain moment. When we are talking about present perfect, we need to know that the action is complete by the present moment of speech. Okay? When we are talking about past perfect, the action is complete by a specific moment in the past. When we are talking about future perfect, the action is complete by a specific moment in the future. Will be complete, right? Okay. The next one is continuous. Continuous aspect always shows the duration. The action lasted for some time. So when we're referring to present continuous, we're talking about something that is happening right now. You're listening to me, you're studying English grammar at this moment of speech, at this moment of your lifetime. When you want to use past continuous, you need to make sure the action lasted in continuous, but in the past. And the same goes for future, but only future continuous. And the last aspect we're looking at today is called perfect continuous. So perfect continuous consists of 2 words: perfect, which means complete, the action has to be complete or almost complete, and continuous, that shows the duration of the action. So present perfect continuous talks or describes an action that has lasted for some time but is complete by the moment of speech, or has lasted for some time but is still going on. Okay? The same goes with past perfect. Use past perfect when you're talking about an action that began at a certain point in the past before another past action. And this action, which is past perfect continuous, lasted for some time too. The same goes for future perfect continuous. Okay, so present perfect continuous. We will look at all these tenses in details a little later. I just wanted to give you the gist of it. We only have 3 tenses, but we have 4 aspects in each. And each aspect shows the relationship of the doer to the action and vice versa. The doer is the person or the thing that does the action, that performs the action. I also wanted to show you this example. And these are notes on tense and aspect meaning. So again, we're looking at simple aspect, right? Simple aspect, simple, simple, simple. And simple aspect deals with habitual repeated action. For example, we study grammar on Mondays and Wednesdays. Also, simple aspect deals with general truths, something that is true no matter what the time is. And completed actions, one point in time. And that refers to past simple and future simple. So simple aspect. Next one is progressive aspect, or in other words, continuous. Continuous right here. Continuous and progressive is the same thing. Continuous aspect shows an incomplete action that is in progress and still happening. It also describes a temporary situation and some sort of repeated action, but right here you need to be very attentive at the last one. She's constantly reminding me to water the plants. We will talk about it, but in a nutshell, when you're using progressive aspect or continuous aspect with repeated actions, that means you're describing a situation that happens repeatedly, but a situation that is annoying to you. You don't like it. You are annoyed and irritated by that situation. So she's constantly reminding me to water the plants. Okay? It's like, I'm tired of that. I don't want her to nag me anymore. So this is the difference between repeated action in the progressive or continuous aspect versus simple aspect. Okay, let's move on. The next one is perfect aspect. So perfect aspect is talking about something indefinite or some indefinite experience. Sean has traveled to many countries. It's a complete action, but we don't know when he traveled to this or that country. We just know a fact. This is his experience. At the time, I had never had such a tight group of friends before. In this case, you're using past perfect. And again, this action happened before a certain one in the past. And the last example is future perfect. Also, use the perfect aspect when you describe an action that began in the past and continues into the moment of speech. Sometimes we use the perfect aspect with words how long, for, and since. And the last one is perfect progressive. We're looking at our chart. You can see that present, past, and future tenses, all three have the perfect progressive or perfect continuous aspect. So, perfect progressive or perfect continuous describes an action that began in the past and continues into the moment of speech. You can see a couple of examples. And also, it describes an action that began in the past and is going on for some time. Or a previous action that could be observed right now. You've been drinking again. Or let's say in class, let's imagine we have a regular offline class and a student runs into, and we are 10 minutes past the beginning. And I'm like, wow, you seem to be out of breath. You must have been running. In this case, I'm using must have been, but I can say, you have probably been running to make it on time. So again, we can observe 4 aspects and 3 tenses. So it's actually up to you whether you would like to remember this as 12 tenses or just 3 tenses and 4 aspects in each. Once you understand one tense, for example, present, and all the aspects of it, such as simple, perfect, continuous, or progressive, and perfect continuous, you will have no issues with past or future.